to drop some college knowledge on XL Primetime. Brought to you by Modelo, the official beer of the College Football Playoff.
Oh, you can definitely count on a cold Modelo. The College Football Playoff bigger than ever as we go to a dozen teams. And I'm telling you, it's just going to be nonstop fun. We are right now in the midst of 55 straight days of football of some kind. It's so damn good. And so
I love when we hit this point every year, too. It's so good.
And even though the stinking Mets got off a grand slam and beat my Dodgers yesterday to even up the series, I'm still in a good mood. All right, so we mentioned some of the great stories coming out of this weekend and also some of the stories that had more pain associated with them. Gators losing to Tennessee up in Knoxville. Oregon with a great game against Ohio State. And it might have changed things with our XLP to the CFP. So here's what we do. We count them down from 12 to 1, including that group of 5. Now, we are missing out on Big Surce's XLP to the CFP, but we will definitely get his and add it once we create the graphic board on social. But let's get to it, Maddie. 12 to 9. I think a lot of changes, at the very least in my top 12, have taken place.
All right, number 12. I got Boise State. Flying out to Boise State tomorrow, actually, to write a profile on Ashton Genty, the stud running back who has a legit chance to break Barry Sanders' single-season rushing record.
Yes.
By the way, that 3-point loss to Oregon in the season opener now looks really good for Boise State. Really good. At number 11, Roll Tide. I almost dropped them out. Because, I mean, that's just, they don't look good right now. I don't know what else to say. It's kind of like with Georgia, too. I don't know what the heck is going on with Georgia. Alabama, you lose to Vandy. You got South Carolina at home. You would think you have all the momentum and motivation of playing better, playing crisp, being ready. And they just, again, it just didn't look good. It didn't look right. Didn't look functional. Weird. Very weird. I almost dropped them out. 10, I got Clemson, and Clemson's just stacking wins, man. Stacking wins, gaining confidence. Their really only obstacle to being unbeaten in the ACC is till the championship game, is a game at Pitt on November 16th, which will be a great game. And then number 9, I've got a team that I don't really believe in, but they're there, LSU. Defense is starting to find its stride a little bit. And the offense, it's, first off, when Brian Kelly said that he thought this offense would be better than last year's offense, that's hilarious at this point, okay?
That's just trying to get these new guys to believe they can do some of the same stuff.
But I will
last
say
guys
this.
did.
Nuss is going to be a first-round pick. And he makes plays when they need him. He does.
Garrett Nussmeier,
He does, yeah.
definitely a good player. And can move a little bit.
Yeah.
Big arm. Made a great throw, as we said, to win that ball game. All right, so I started to put together my top 12, and it wasn't easy. I had to kick a couple of them to the curb, and we said goodbye, at least for the here and now, to Ole Miss as a 2-loss team. LSU is definitely coming on, but I also kicked Alabama to the curb for the here and now.
I'm fine with that because I almost did it too.
So we will see where those two teams are, and Tennessee for that matter. Okay, Tennessee somehow figured out a way to beat Billy Ball, actually made Billy Ball look okay for a while. So they're out. My number 12 team, I say Army. Why not?
Yeah.
The Black Knights. Think about this. They are leading their conference in rushing, nearly 370 yards per game, leading in total defense per game, and scoring defense, giving up less than 10 points per game. So I'm going to give Army some love. Move over Boise State for right now. I've got Army as the 12th team. The 11th. Give it up for Elko. Texas A&M with what they've been able to do. And I'm taking Tennessee out, I'm taking Ole Miss out, taking Bama out. And I'm going to go ahead and put Texas A&M right now because they may have one of the better losses to Notre Dame when you're starting to add up who lost to who. And that's really my only logic right now.
I hope you got Notre Dame ahead of them. If you're talking about a great loss to Notre Dame.
Well, they both have losses. One was to Notre Dame. The other was to Northern Illinois. So,
are you going to tell me right now you don't have Notre Dame in your 12?
I don't, not right now.
But you're using the Notre Dame was a great loss for Texas A&M?
They both have one loss.
See, you're the problem right now.
Yeah, they both
you
have
are the
one
problem
loss.
with it. You are the problem with this system.
They have
because people like you think
I don't
that
care.
way.
I don't care. Because
I know you don't. That's the problem.
I look at the total body of work. And right now, I've got number 10, BYU, unbeaten. Nothing else needs to be said. They're in the Big 12, and they're looking pretty damn good right now.
All right.
Number 9, Clemson. Want to talk about a loss? A loss to Georgia. That's a pretty good one loss that you can stand up and not have to apologize for. And they are moving along pretty good at a decent clip right now. So I've got Clemson, number 9. 21 total touchdowns, only 1 turnover from Cade Klubnik to this point.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. All right,
you like that
5.
stat. You're adding on to that stat I gave you, aren't you? You like that.
Yeah. I'm keeping an eye on all.
So let me just say this to you real quick, okay? Real quick. If you'd have just said, I think Texas A&M, even though they lost to Notre Dame, is the better team right now, I'd have been fine with that. Instead, you use the argument of, that's a good loss to Notre Dame, yet Notre Dame's nowhere in your 12.
I always like looking at who you lost to and who you beat. I think both matter. And so I'm just trying to look at who you lost to and who you beat, who has a better loss versus the wins that they have. And I do think, even though I like Notre Dame, and
Notre Dame's getting in. If they win out, they're getting in.
Yeah. Even though I like Notre Dame and they're right on the outside looking in right now, they're Ole for me. But I'm giving it up for Elko because of such a massive turnaround.
Yeah.
That's impressive, too.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
I agree. All right, number 8, I got Iowa State. Best defense in the Big 12. I think they're 5 overall in the nation. 11 points a game.
They're getting
That's impressive, man. And that crazy offense-first conference, they're giving up 11 a game. That's very impressive. Watch them play. It's not only Rocco Beck, but it's the receivers. Jalen Knowles, fantastic. So is Jaden Higgins. 2 really good receivers for them. Number 7, and I don't believe in this team, and I know a lot of people do. I'm not a believer in Penn State. I think, I wouldn't underestimate the value of that win, going cross-country, beating USC, a team that was desperate. That was impressive. I could see them losing to anyone on their schedule.
Yeah.
I don't see them as a team that gets somebody down and then puts their hobnailed boot on them and ends it. You know what I mean? I don't see them as that type of team. Number 6, and I said this earlier, I don't know what is going on with Georgia. They just do not look like Georgia. They're very the classic Big Lebowski line. It's very undue of you. Yeah. They're very un-Georgia right now.
It's true.
Very un-Georgia.
Like Clemson used to always be Clemsoning. Now this is un-Georgia.
They are, and I'm writing this for tomorrow at USA Today, is Georgia is, Georgia loses to Texas, and it's like a 31-17 type of loss. You better start questioning about what's going on there. And not that Kirby's got to be fired or anything like. My point is you've got a talented team that's not playing to their level of ability. That's number 1.
Right.
Okay? And number 2, at some point, all that crap that's going on in the locker room bleeds over into the field.
Yeah.
And Kirby's mentor, Nick Saban, says it all the time. The way you behave off the field is a direct reflection on how you play on the field.
Yeah.
So at some point, that stuff is going to start to bleed over, and I think it might be right now. Now, they might go to Austin. They might win that game and make the statement, and they're Georgia, and everybody else can suck it, and I wouldn't be surprised at all, okay? I'm just saying, if they lose Texas, you're going to hear a lot of people start to say, is this the end of this dynastic run for Georgia? And then number 6.
No, 5.
5. I'm sorry, 5. I don't like this one either. I don't know about Ohio State. I don't know about Ohio State and Will Howard. More importantly, I don't know about Will Howard and Chip Kelly, the OC at Ohio State. Because if you've got 3 receivers like they have that can all run, and you're not throwing the ball at the third level, that's on you.
Well,
they were not throwing the ball at the third level against Oregon. Let's just stick with Jeremiah Smith.
I would keep feeding him.
How are you not just throwing the ball deep to him?
I thought both things should have worked. I thought they would have been able to run against Oregon and be able to throw. All right, I need to roll through mine real quick. 8-5. Ohio State, I have 8. Okay, sorry, Buckeye fans. Your best win is against Iowa, and Georgia's best win is against Clemson. So I can argue that point as well. So I'm putting Ohio State 8.
I like that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, USC out-rushing Penn State. Yet Penn State was still able to win. Nick Singleton didn't have as much of an impact as I thought he would. And in the end, they booted through a field goal.
And Lincoln gave up on the run again.
Yeah, and so they win. And so I'm going to put Penn State 7th. I'm going to keep Georgia in that 6th spot. Carson Beck, 459 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. I'm an interested party in what you're thinking with Kirby, but I still think they've got something left.
You think they win?
No, I will probably pick Texas, yeah. But
I mean, so if they lose,
it's not unraveling, I guess is my point.
If they lose, the problem is they're falling behind 4 other teams in the race in the SEC.
Yeah.
They put themselves in a very bad position if they lose.
Yeah, it becomes doubly tough. That's for sure. All right, and then so in that 5th spot, oh, hang on. Let me make sure I have this right. Ohio State, Penn State, Georgia. Yeah, that's how I've got my 8-5. All right, 4-1.
4-1. Before I go 4-1, I'm going to tell you something real quick. I was talking about Jeremiah Smith and how they're not throwing him the ball. Let me give you a little something about the Alabama offense real quick, okay? Since we're both questioning it.
Yeah.
They have run 360 plays this season, okay? And the most electric player in college football has touched the ball 24 times.
Yeah, that's not good.
23 catches, 1 rush. 6.6% of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not good.
That's terrible is what it is.
All right, 4-1.
All right, 4-1. I got BYU as the projected Big 12 champ. They keep winning. They keep winning important games. They beat the hell out of Arizona. And the defense is getting better every week. I got the Canes at 3. Canes were off. Sneaky little trap game for them this week at Louisville. The Ducks and Dan Lanning.
Can't argue.
Cheated, but won the game. No doubt about that.
Got the flag.
Threw the 12th player on there.
Not cheating.
That's going to end. That'll end real quick, by the way. And number 1, of course, Texas. And, beat Georgia, and you're cruising all the way till Texas A&M game last week.
I love what he did. We'll get back to Lanning in a minute. Number 4, I've got the Canes, the open week. Obviously, they still got to keep rolling, but I moved them back to 4, so I'm keeping them there. I've got Iowa State, number 3. Rocco Beck, just give him all the credit in the world. They are rolling, undefeated, beat West Virginia, so I don't have any problem putting the Cyclones up there as the Big 12 champion. I moved Texas from 1 to 2.
What?
Okay? Just because of what Oregon did at home. Both of these guys have quality wins. Again, this goes down to the argument, who has Texas beat? A Michigan team that, and an Oklahoma team that, and then Oregon beat Ohio State. So I'm putting Texas 2, Oregon number 1. I have no
if
problem.
Texas beats Georgia, does Texas jump right back?
Sure they do.
All
This
right.
is a week-to-week deal. It is our XLP to the CFP, thanks to Modelo.
Hey guys, Taylor Doll here. Thanks so much for watching 1010XL. If you're looking for even more great content, head over to our 1010XL Jaguars page or one of our college football pages.